Welcome to Sports and Stogies. Now, introducing your hosts, Cameron Winkowitz and Austin Hayes.
Post-show.
Yeah, so I used to ride those big chopper bikes.
Dude, actually my first bike was a chopper like that too.
Yeah, but I rode them like way after they were out of style.
Yeah, I mean, obviously me too, but I rode them in my driveway where none of my friends or anybody else could see me.
I rode around the apartment complex.
You're out in public, dude.
Yeah, we lived in. And I also couldn't ride a regular bike yet. I was a late bloomer on learning how to ride a regular two-wheeled bike.
When'd you learn?
So my chopper had training wheels.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's rough, dude.
Yeah.
Now mine looked like you took it straight out of 1955. It was like a Schwinn, total chopper. Didn't look good at all. Man, I had a good time though. But overall, I think I loved it. I listened back to the whole thing myself.
I mean, it was a lot of fun, dude.
Not just fun, but I think we really got into some deep conversation, which we don't really get a chance to do.
We got personal
on the show.
We did.
Got personal off air. That was fantastic. Definitely brought all three of us closer together. And then just entertainment-wise, I thought it was great.
Dude, I think that might have been the best conversation that we've had on the podcast in a while.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Getting a ton of great feedback from that across the board. So here starts, year number 2.
Year number 2. Here we go.
May many
Kicking
more
off.
come.
A full year with Shane now. Nice to have.
Yeah. No, we only have 6 months with me.
Well, it will be.
Yeah, will be.
Fellas, say hello to YouTube.
We are now officially, I think, or at least in the process of being on YouTube.
I'll do my best to have some backlog up, but this will be published on YouTube at the standard release date. So
No video.
No video,
But this show will be on YouTube.
but it will be on YouTube.
Nice.
Highlight from last week. At which point did you guys forget what was happening during the show? Because did you guys listen back?
I remember everything.
I remember a lot of it.
Yeah, I didn't black out.
No.
There was one moment where Shane, I think we had taken a break, and he started laughing and put his head down on the table. And I thought he's not going to remember anything after this.
No, I remember everything.
Solid then.
Yeah.
Solid. I think overall it went pretty well. Nobody got too hammered. And then absolutely bashed some DoorDash McDonald's
Dude.
after the fact.
What, 3 a.m. in the bed of your truck?
I mean, that bag was... Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I smoked 4 cigars that night. I put a little snap up of you guys both passed out on the couch.
Yeah.
That was a great time, dude.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
I did violently vomit at some point during the night.
But not as bad as last year, I don't think.
No,
No.
it wasn't. Well,
Or
actually,
last show.
I vomited pretty hard because my nose also started bleeding
Ooh, that's a rough
this
combo.
time.
Very rough combo.
I was asleep, and then I remember just hearing, "Are you going to throw up?" And then I was like, you can either wake up and watch this, or you can try and get some amount of sleep tonight.
So I was still up, of course, because that's my usual schedule. And then at one point, for half an hour, Cam woke up, and we started playing Mortal Kombat. And then he went upstairs, and I'm like, yep, I know exactly what's happening here. Then he came back down, had one more fight, fell back asleep. And that was that. I woke up the next morning, or next afternoon, I guess, and you guys were long gone.
Oh, yeah.
But either way, I thought it went super well. I loved it.
It was a lot of fun.
And again,
great.
props to the listeners for all those great questions. The last 2-hour segment, I thought was phenomenal. A little light here.
Yeah.
How long was the show?
Just
About
a
4
hair
hours.
under 4 hours.
Oh, dude.
3:53.
It didn't feel like it.
Well, it really was longer because, again, we paused for an hour
Yeah.
to talk off mic. Plus a couple other breaks in there. So it was a good, probably 5.5 hour stretch.
Those breaks really did a good job of just teaching me how drunk I was, and I didn't realize it. Because I'd stand up to go to the bathroom and just
Cam, so,
instantly
okay, firstly,
regret
hold your
standing
lighter
up.
vertical. Give it a little shake if need be. And then if you have to, just crank up the power.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know the
It's a mama's boy lighter. You got to know the...
intricacies.
I'll keep going until you get it.
Huh?
Keep saying that word until you get it. Shane, you want to swing on that?
I'm not even sure if I know
Yeah,
the
let me
actual
try.
word.
No, the word, Shane, not the
Oh,
lighter.
No.
The intricacies.
Yeah, that one.
Intricacies.
Yeah.
Intricacies.
I would have never gotten that.
You were on the ballpark.
I've said it twice now.
We got the gist.
Well, I could say it now.
Say it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Can somebody say it again?
Intricacies.
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 Good job.
That's one of the few times you've ever stumbled over an actual word.
I think that's the only time I've ever seen him do it.
Normally, my vocabulary is pretty good.
It is.
Very diverse, I think. That's one thing you take pride in.
Brother, do you want me to
Exactly.
give that lighter a shot?
I have no fingernails,
Give me it.
so I can't really get
That
in
also
there.
does help. Yeah. While Shane works on that lighter, go ahead and pull up that chair
Pour up that drink.
and light that cigar
Lights it.
because
I'm
it's
sorry.
time for episode 53 now of Sports and Stogies, kicking off year number 2. Cam, take it away.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys all enjoyed last episode as much as we did.
Shane, give me the goddamn lighter.
I don't think I'm going to get it.
And we just got demonetized on our first video.
You say goddamn, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think you
I feel
can.
like that's like the worst one.
That's the cutoff.
Is that the cut? There's no way that
Like
there's
F bombs, no good, right?
Yeah.
I feel like GD, throwing out a GD is pretty bad.
I don't think it's that bad.
We'll find out. We're going to make any money anyway.
That's true.
Those things really take off here.
This could be the show that sends us.
But anyways, yes, welcome to YouTube, boys. Pretty stoked about that.
You're pretty what?
Pretty stoked about that, some would say.
And our YouTube is just at Sports and Stogies,
Correct.
as is our Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, Reddit. And one big thing we got to start off with here, the Humidor giveaway has kind of caught fire on Facebook.
It's going pretty solid. I think we have around 15
Entries.
entries so far.
Pretty solid.
Do you want to go over the rules again
Just for a couple hours.
for listeners who have not seen that yet?
Yes, so what you will need to do is go to our Facebook or Instagram. You will need to tag 5 people in the comments. Give us your favorite SNS memory if you're a longtime listener. Tag 5 people in the comments and then share to your personal page, and that will automatically get you in the giveaway. We will run it for roughly 2 weeks, and we will use a random name selector with all the names listed, and whoever wins, wins. And then we will DM you for personal information if we have to ship.
And again, the prize is a 200 count electric coolador. That was our show coolador for a long time. Already seasoned, works incredibly. No damage to it, no dings, nothing. Bless you, Shane.
Thank you.
Glass door, light. It's
3
fantastic.
beautiful Spanish cedar trays with a Spanish cedar drawer as well.
And built-in hygrometer, so you guys can keep an eye on your temperature and humidity. It's really a great piece.
It really is.
So good luck to whoever's going to take that baby home. In other promo news, I know I'll at least be at Casa Aficionado on Saturday for the Buckeye home game kickoff event, bright and early at noon. There'll be pizza there, non-alcoholic drinks, but of course you can bring your own. Free cigars, raffles, and just great company with the Queen of Ash, all the great members and patrons there. Going all day as well. Of course, you got college ball all day.
Yeah, standard college
Texas
game
Bama
day
at
event.
7 o'clock. So you're stoked for that. Again, I'll be in attendance, so come on out and hang out and have a few sticks and hopefully watch a big-time Buckeye win.
Hopefully it is big time. They're definitely in need.
We'll get more on that later.
A little foreshadowing there.
Then we got to shout out our boy Greg and co at Tip Top. Guys, again, if you're not close, get on the website, Tip Top Smoke and Pour or tiptopsmoke.com,
Yes. And then they also have their Cigar of the Month club.
which we'll touch on here again in just a short moment. But it's $30 for 3 random cigars each month. And so far, he's got 3 absolute home runs.
Yeah, they've been complete and utter bangers through its entirety.
And then shout out to our boy Steve Danchis, who now is at Cigaro. If you guys want the LCA cigars, which of course I think only, at least that I'm aware of, Tip Top and now Danchis in Ohio are LCA dealers. They're pretty exclusive. So depending on your location, I know they both ship.
Oh, Danchis actually works for Cigaro?
Yeah, he's now in with Cigaro.
Awesome.
Yeah, partner.
I did not know that.
He told me today that eventually Cigaro will have their online shop, hopefully by the end of the year.
Perfect.
So you can order some El Periodicos because I can't wait. We're due for a trip back up north anyway. I told him I plan to go in like October at some
Yeah, I
point.
would like to set up a
And maybe
a yearly update interview.
Catch up, recap
Especially
interview.
get Dan Chice in there.
Yeah, absolutely. He mentioned at the Medina event that host us at his place and his downstairs cigar bar.
Love that.
Not going to say no. And also he got involved with the giveaway.
That he did.
Which I can guarantee, I think, what's going to happen, we already talked about off air,
It'll be
is how it'll
regifted.
go down. Yeah.
I think if, depending on, right now, all of the people in are pretty much in the OCM. So I'm assuming it's a future, it could be a potential future raffle item, potential future auction item for an event, which, good.
You want to go ahead and pimp that event out? Our last two of the year,
The Stogies event, which unfortunately I will not be able to attend.
given your work schedule and other obligations this month.
Yes, that is at Stogie Smoke Stop in Huber Heights.
September
And
16th.
September 16th.
Starts at 11:30, runs till 5.
11:30 to 5. It's been consecutively the biggest event.
I believe so. Yeah, huge turnouts.
So be there or be square. Great
if-
food, obviously.
Yeah,
Great
the catered-
smokes, great people.
Of course, raffles, auctions,
And the Stogies crew is pretty awesome too.
phenomenal. Big supporters
So-
from day one. But maybe if you're a little further up north, on the same day, same event at Cigaro, Sean Brown will be there with Nick
In Cigaro.
at Cigaro.
Good.
I know Morgan's coming to Huber, along with, I think, Michael Deerdorf, who's another SEGD recipient. If you guys haven't been out to one of these events yet or seen our video on Facebook, it's really nothing like seeing it in person,
It's amazing.
seeing where our funds go. We're going to probably crush our goal for the year after these two events.
I hope.
We just killed our last raffle, which was like 550 spots, I want to say.
And I believe they all sold.
Yeah, I think we just finished that up. So another great year. I think our best year yet here at the OCM. Again, it's an honor to be a part of a great group that actually contributes.
And we're coming up on our
Legitimately.
OCM anniversary.
Probably this week, right?
I think it was later
One
in
of the
September.
first 4 or 5 shows we ever did.
We named the show Made Men, so it's
I'll
pretty
go back
easy.
and check it during break.
Easy to go back.
Yeah. That's definitely early. Single digits for sure.
Yeah.
So with that, let's talk about what we're smoking on tonight.
I have the Vega Fiend Year of the Rabbit.
Which was in that tip-top September 3-pack.
It is an Ecuadorian wrapper with Dominican binder and filler, and so far, great smoke production, phenomenal draw. Had to do a little touch-up on the burn, but that was my fault. I knew it wasn't lit quite properly when I lit it, but I was very excited to get into it, so
It's easy to get over-eager.
you do what you got to do. But great burn, scents, and some pretty good flavors so far, too. I'm getting like a nice caramel sweetness with some like creamy cedar and some peanut so far, with like a mild dark chocolate, like hint of dark chocolate.
Ooh, yeah. It's a little flirtiness.
Yeah.
I
Very
have
good.
the Malibu Rick, which is one of the 2 September releases from LCA. I mentioned it before, but LCA is not really, they don't make their own cigars, but they collaborate with other brands and then age them all in their own unique aging process in their warehouses, the same way you would in like a humidor. They use just Boveda packs and age them for usually 2 to 3 years. This was inspired by actually the Barbie movie, which you'll be able to tell from the wrapper, and also a shop owner that the owner of Pravada met in Malibu, a guy named Malibu Rick.
I was going to say, definitely named Rick at least.
It is a 6x50 Toro with a Brazilian Matafina wrapper, which intrigues me the most because it's the same wrapper that my favorite stick uses, the AJF Bellas Artes Maduro. A Dominican binder and a Nicaraguan and Honduran combo in the filler.
Complex.
So a lot of things going on here. And again, I think aged at least 1 to 2 years by LCA.
Does the flavor profile match the complexity?
Maybe not quite as much as I was expecting. At least not in the initial inch and a half here. But incredible burn, super even.
Great ash.
Great ash. And it's probably going to hold for a while, although usually I bail early just so I don't make a mess. But great smoke production, great draw. And then flavor-wise, that definitely resembles the Bellas Artes.
Ooh.
This nice dark chocolate, kind of fruitiness, almost like a red wine note, which is really nice complementary to the chocolate.
Yeah.
And a little bit of earth, a little bit of leather. And I want to see how it will change with all those different tobaccos blended as I smoke through it. Shane? Nice vape going on over there?
Yeah, I'm not smoking on a cigar tonight. I just got back from fired PT, sweat out like all of my water that's in me.
Long day.
Definitely not smoking on anything tonight.
And then me and Cam are pairing that with another addition to the Scratch and Sip board.
Hey-o.
I actually got 2 new ones today, which we'll be doing the other one, of course, next week. But this is Larceny Small Batch from Heaven Hill, of course, who also makes, Elijah Craig, Evan Williams, Rittenhouse Rye. Yeah, big time distiller. It's 92 proof. It's a blend of 6 to 12-year-old barrels, so mostly 6-year-old. There'll be some slight older stuff thrown in. A 68% corn mash bill, and then it's wheated. A 20% wheat and then 12% barley. Only $30.
It's not bad.
I've had it before. It's been a while, but it should be similar to like Maker's, another wheated bourbon, similar to like Weller Special Reserve. Cam's going for his first sip here.
Very smooth. Pretty tasty.
Yeah, on the nose, definitely get that wheat. Kind of a bread note. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel.
Standard, yeah.
Yeah, I don't expect anything mind-blowing here. But again, for a lower proof $30 bottle, should be pretty solid.
It's pretty good, yeah. Very smooth, too. That's my big thing. If it's not smooth, then I'm not going to like it. I don't care what the flavor profile is.
Yeah, good finish. And then, yeah, palate-wise, that vanilla transfers over. A little bit of butterscotch. Kind of a citrus note on the back end.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, nothing
Couldn't
really,
quite put
nothing
my
really
finger on
overpowering.
It, but, yeah. It melds very well.
But yeah, easy sipper.
Yeah.
I mean, you can throw this back all day.
Definitely a 1-2 bottle.
Yeah, good for bottle pulls, I'm sure. And probably good on old-fashioned, too.
Slightly spicier.
I'd be down for that. Yeah. And there's kind of that, there's no rye in the mash bill, but there's that slight rye spice.
Just enough. Like,
Just
hey,
to remind
I'm
you
here.
it's there. Yeah. The overall, very well balanced. And again, for $30, I mean, that's one you can always have in your bar at all times. So, good combo so far. We'll see how it opens up as the show goes on. But with that, we have one fan question tonight. Cam, of last year's NFL playoff teams, which one is most likely to miss the playoffs this year?
Oh, goodness gracious.
No, I think there's one clear answer, which seems almost unfair, being Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But that's no fun, right? So I'm going to go Minnesota, which I talked a lot about even last year. They had a negative point differential. They were like 10-1 in one-score games. That's not sustainable. And I think the division overall has gotten better. I think Green Bay's better than people think. I love Detroit. The Bears should be improved. Not a contender, I don't think, quite yet. Yeah, I think they had a lot of luck last year. Even with the NFC overall being not great, of the teams that made the playoffs, I think the top 10 should be like locks. So Minnesota's kind of one of those fringe teams that I think has the best chance at least of not making it back this year.
I got the Giants.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I'm not sold on their offense. Saquon being, can he do it again? Right? That's the question. Especially with maybe being slightly disheartened
after the contract thing.
Over the contract deal. Obviously going to give his 100%. But maybe they try to fade off of using him as their entire offense. Try and get Jalen Hyatt more involved. Try and get Darren Waller more involved. Get Daniel Jones more involved in the rush game and obviously better passing. So maybe Saquon goes to more of the traditional running back role. Maybe not 30 carries a game with 10 receptions. But it wouldn't shock me if they did it again. But I just think, I don't know. In my opinion, every other team has gotten better. And they kind of stayed in that very similar, where they didn't improve noticeably, where I was like, oh, wow.
At least on paper. Because we don't know what Jalen Hyatt actually is.
He could
you
be
have no clue.
Phenomenal. He could be the next Justin Jefferson.
Waller, same thing. Kind of disappointed last year. New team, new environment. Maybe goes back to prime Darren Waller. We just don't know yet.
Tight end utilization in New York is very high.
Yeah.
So,
And even with Danny Dollars. Last year, he proved he could not turn the ball over 40 times a year.
correct.
Can you repeat that?
Probably. I would like to see him run a little bit more because he is very comfortable on his feet. So I would like to see them add that more into the scheme a little bit. But yeah, I'm not super sold on the Giants.
I do still like their defense, especially bringing in Isaiah Simmons here, that last trade last week. Still trust Dayball. But yeah, talent-wise, I think definitely a step below most other NFC contending teams. Shane, any thoughts on that? Anybody you think maybe is a clear miss for the playoffs?
I mean, I think that you could say the Seahawks if Geno's year was a fluke, which I'm not saying it is, but I think that there's definitely a chance because, his whole career he hasn't done that. He had one good year, they gave him a big contract, and now expectations are super high.
Semi-big.
Big for Geno Smith.
He was appropriately paid, I think.
If he continues that level of production. I mean, I'm not trying to be, like a Geno hater because I don't.
Sounds like you're writing him off.
I'm not writing them off.
Should have learned your lesson there last year, pal.
But I'm saying that the chance is definitely there.
It is, but I think they got better on both sides of the ball.
I have them not in my playoffs when we're getting ready to go over this.
Is that a fact?
Just saying.
Well, there we go. A little sneak peek.
So
I think bringing in JSN could be a huge payoff. I think they brought in some offensive line help. I like bringing Bobby Wagner back to be a mentor to the young guys on that defense. I forget the corner they drafted in the first round. I think
Devon Witherspoon,
right? Ricky Corners,
Jamal Adams
same
should
thing.
be back healthy.
Totally forgot about him. He's
So,
been disappeared for a year.
Old Blitz boy coming back.
So yeah, defense should be better. Offense, again, based on what Geno does, if he can maintain what he did last year. Really, just the first half of last year. Second half, he kind of tailed off some.
Yeah.
So that's really the big question mark.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that they're gonna miss the playoffs.
Sounds like you're saying they're
yeah.
going to win the Super Bowl.
No, I do have them
I mean,
in
dude,
my
pick one side.
playoffs
It's one or the other.
for wild card, just because if he plays good, I think that they have a good chance of going in the playoffs and maybe doing something. But say he starts off like he did the tail end of last year, and just keeps at that level, I don't think that they're a playoff team.
Who's their backup quarterback? Do you even know?
Let me pull it up.
No clue. Hopefully it's somebody cool. Like Case Keenum or something.
I almost want to say it's Drew Lock. I think they
Oh,
brought.
no, it is. Yeah,
Yeah, they
because he
brought
was in the
Drew Lock
trade.
in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Noah Fant and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
them for Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, not a huge step down if Geno, say, gets hurt or doesn't play like he did last year.
Right.
Nah, I don't see Drew Lock leading him to the playoffs, but
No.
overall, I think, the top 10 teams should be pretty well locked in.
Yeah.
Which we also have a top 10 power rankings consensus here at Sports and Stogies always.
Because this is the NFL preview show
Absolutely.
for the 2023 season. We got a lot of things here. Award predictions, playoff picks,
Whole week one.
return to
Preview.
sleeper of the week.
Return to Sleeper of the Week with an additional member, so it will be
Even harder.
a 3-man race.
Digging even deeper.
will
'cause
be.
we can't pick the same guys.
No, we can't.
That's illegal.
So it's me versus Austin versus Shane.
It'll be easier, I think, in week 1 before there's any numbers out there.
Oh,
But man,
naturally.
come week 7, you got to dig really deep. Because we're doing same lineups as last year. Typical ESPN,
Yep.
ESPN standard scoring.
Yeah, we are
PPR.
using our Sports and Stogies League scoring to do our rankings.
And it's quarterback out of top 12, running back out of top 12.
We'll expand again when we get to the segment, but yeah, same rules apply. We'll give you guys a little refresher. Before all the predictions, some NFL news here. Cowboys extend Terrence Steele, starting right tackle. 5 years, $86 million with $50 million guaranteed.
Pretty solid.
We locked up right
gotta
tackle.
Keep them trenches.
Locked up right guard with Zach Martin. Paid Trayvon Diggs.
Run to the right side.
I mean, left side's no slouch either.
Well,
Got
they're
Tyron
not
Smith
extended.
over there.
They're not
A
extended.
little older, but all pro. And now with CD coming up for an extension, they're talking about Dak, who I think is 1 year left in his deal. And of course, Micah, after this season. Talk about that contract.
That's got to be gigantic, right?
Barring an injury or something crazy this year. Either way, good to see it. This is a guy that went undrafted out of Texas Tech. some injury history, but overall, a very important piece of that line. Really, either tackle, man. You got to have strong.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And then the big injury news. A couple guys that hopefully you didn't draft both of them. Otherwise, you're a little worried this week.
At least for week 1.
Where do you want to start?
We'll start with Kelsey. This is the new news, I guess.
Came out today.
As of recording.
So Tuesday, yeah.
Hyperextended his knee. From everything that's been reported, bless you.
Thank you.
No major ligament damage or anything.
Yeah, they said they did MRI. ACL is totally intact. At least they said. They're going to reevaluate come Wednesday to see if he's ready for the Thursday night opener. Shouldn't be anything damaging long term, but maybe for week 1, they hold him out.
It's probably in their best interest.
Yeah, just play it safe, right?
And I think he'll go that route too. I mean, he is in year 11 now?
Give or take. Yeah, in that ballpark.
So probably best to take it easy, really rehab it pretty good, get it nice and loose. You don't want it still tight on game day. Not if you're suiting up at least.
I'd feel a lot better if they played Sunday.
Yeah.
But having that Thursday night opening
It's
week.
a quick turnaround.
Yeah, so that's a little tight. And then for me, more concerning overall is Cooper Kupp still. Was in Minnesota seeing a hamstring specialist. And it seems like week 1, definitely going to miss. Potentially week 2 and week 3. But even after that, hamstring injuries linger throughout most of the season. This guy's getting older, super high volume. Was hurt last year.
Van Jefferson owners are loving it right now.
Yeah, suddenly who looks a little better about their Van Jefferson picks a couple weeks ago?
I like Van Jefferson.
That's what I'm saying. We made him, I think on the show we said he's potential sleeper.
Yeah.
If Kupp goes down and
he was projected to have a boom last year before his injury. So by all means he should boom this year.
I only have one share of Kupp. But
I do also only have
these
one.
two guys. I think they're both 31. Again, high volume guys, getting older. I mean, your legs are usually the first thing to go out in those positions.
Yeah.
And our buddy Drew always says the Rams are notorious for, if they start off 2-4, kind of limiting snap share of their star players, taking things easier.
Yeah. We'll see.
Again, glad I only have one share of Cooper Kupp. If you guys, there's still some people who haven't drafted yet. Some maniacs who wait until Thursday afternoon. Where would you take Kupp now?
2 or 3. Round 2 or 3.
Still comfortable with that?
Yeah.
As your wideout 1? Or do you go wideout in the first round?
I'll still take the most elite wideout in round 1.
And then grab
or
Kupp.
If you're at the 8-9, you're grabbing like Saquon or Bijan still. And then grabbing Devontae Adams or A.J. Brown on the turn.
Now, you know there's somebody out there that drafted Kelsey first round, Kupp second round, JT third or fourth round. They're probably a little unhappy right about now.
They're punching the air.
Their fantasy team could be winless.
And there's one guy I watch on YouTube. I think it's BDGE Fantasy. He made a great point that I loved.
Wait, you watch BDG Fantasy but not their trivia?
Are they on like TikTok for that?
That's where I get all of the trivia I give you.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know it's like a.
They have a YouTube
like a
channel
group thing.
for trivia.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Just
It's
their fantasy
literally
thing.
BDGE trivia.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, the dude's, at least the guy I watch is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Nick?
I've seen, yeah, I think so. Bearded
Yeah.
dude, younger.
Yeah.
He made a great point about injury optimism. You don't want to draft a guy hoping that he gets over an injury or he stays healthy. Take the safe bet,
Oh, yeah.
you know? Because I think a lot of guys do that. I've been guilty of that too, like thinking, even like going with Javonte. Hopefully he recovers fully from last year.
Or Brees.
Or Brees. But man, that's the risk you run when you can take a Dameon Pierce instead.
Yeah.
That's been healthy.
Who's probably going to give you close to the same value.
If not more, because that whole Dalvin Cook thing kind of scares me too.
Yes.
But we'll go deeper depth in fantasy here after a while. Mike Evans. You want to mention him and his whole contract.
I know
situation.
he said anything after past September 9th, he's not worried about negotiating. He's going to play out this last year for sure. No sit out or anything like that, which I love to hear.
He's a consummate pro.
and I'm sure they'll come to some sort of agreement that's team friendly. He's not asking for $100 million.
Now, do you think Tampa will sign him, or are they in full rebuild mode, try to get a trade?
They have Godwin, who's young.
Younger than Evans, yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me if they trade him.
Man, Evans to a contender with an already established low-end wideout one, it's dangerous.
And with the Browns clearing out space, I could see them probably trying to make a trade.
Whoa. Okay.
But there's a lot of people that are saying maybe they just full send on Chris Jones.
Yeah?
Pay him all their cap space. Then you have Jones, Garrett, Zadarius Smith.
That's scary.
And then the other guy we got.
That's very scary. Oh, yeah. I forget. Okoronkwo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's a furious front. That's like Purple People Eaters front four.
That's
dude.
insane.
Chris Jones, definitely not happy right now.
I don't think it would happen.
You never know.
That's like the fun optimism, right?
I'll do like, hey, what if?
Yeah. That'd be like saying, what if the Cowboys don't extend Micah Parsons and we pay him next year?
That's not fun at all, actually. That's really
Fun
a
for me.
horrifying thought. Myles Garrett and Micah, that'd be one of the best 1-2 punches of all time
That'd be terrifying.
for
And
Joe Burrow.
Really,
Yeah.
right now, Myles Garrett and anyone else is a
Oh, absolutely.
amazing 1-2 punch.
Yeah, even Clowney last year, who was by no means prime Clowney,
Yeah.
still pretty scary. I think if you put Shane on the end opposite of Myles
Probably be
Garrett,
all right.
You know, you can get by.
He'd probably get 3 sacks.
Probably.
Minimum.
I think I could do that, dude.
You can do it. You can beat a one-on-one matchup.
Yeah.
You got that quickness, that lateral quickness.
Yeah, just do a quick little finesse spin move. You play enough Madden.
Yeah, I know the controls. You just spin the right joystick.
Then he spins, breaks his ankle first.
Well, that's what PT's for.
Run them stairs, dude.
Dude, those
Stadium stairs in gear.
Those stairs aren't fun.
And now it's prediction time.
All
Where do you
right.
want to start?
Let's start off with last year, which I think we did pretty solid overall. I think we went about 50%. I think we missed MVP. I know I had Herbie, of course.
And I had...
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
We both nailed Jefferson.
Yep.
Both nailed Parsons. Or no, not Parsons.
We both had
Bosa-
Parsons,
Bosa
but it was
won.
Nick Bosa.
But I think we nailed Rookie of the Year.
You did. I got a defensive. You
And
got
had
offensive.
Yeah. See, overall, I think we did pretty well.
Pretty
I
solid.
think I went out on a little more of a limb this year with my picks.
I kind of did.
But let's start with MVP.
I got Joey B.
I love it.
It's
Okay.
it's the Bengals year.
I love it. I thought about it a lot.
This is, with the team they have, it could be the last year they have all these pieces.
Correct. T. Higgins probably gone next year.
Maybe. It all depends on... There's a lot of speculation that Burrow might get a Mahomes style.
A little cheaper.
10-year, 450, 45 a year, back-ended.
Because, again, if you're Joey B., you take a slight pay cut to keep this team together, right?
Absolutely.
Well, you definitely take some... You keep Chase in mind.
Yeah.
Right?
I think regardless, they're at least going to pay both Burrow and Chase. They can afford to do that.
So it really just is going to come down to what T. Higgins wants.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I know this year is, you can say guaranteed they have this team they have now, and it will be 100% for this year. And Joey B has been up there with the best. And as long as Chase doesn't go down, he probably could have won it last year.
Was definitely in the conversation.
So, this is the Bengals year.
Well, this should be no surprise, but I'm doubling down. Justin Herbert. New offensive coordinator.
No ribs.
The best offensive line he's had yet. The best receiving core, assuming Allen and Williams can stay relatively healthy. But the big thing for me, yes, is bringing in Kellen Moore. You've seen the Cowboys' offense the past 4 years. Besides some stupid trick play calls, overall, he's been super efficient. He's going to stretch the field more. He's healthy again. Going to get the scrambling and running game back involved. I'm all in. He's at plus 900. I think he's like 5th or 6th. Highest or lowest odds, I should say. And I would feel so bad if I didn't pick him and he did win, because he's my guy.
Yes, he is your guy.
Of my 6 teams, he's my starting quarterback in 4 of them. Got to roll with it.
And you're pushing like round 4 or 5 for that pick.
I think I got him in round 5 and like 4 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be all of them.
Correction. And 3 of those. Shane, your MVP pick.
I'm going to go Jalen Hurts. I think they're coming off a year where they're mad they didn't do what they wanted to. And he seems like he's completely locked in. He's got one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league right now.
And his background on his phone is him standing in the Chiefs confetti at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this dude's motivated.
That's an angry man right there. And seeing Jalen Hurts playing, just, hey, I want to win a Super Bowl, cool. But now he's like, I want to win a damn Super Bowl. Like, he's mad.
Yeah, definitely the biggest rushing upside. I really don't think losing their OCO is going to matter that much. Because I think Sirianni had a lot of that anyway, and that offense is pretty clear-cut. You know what works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, they made the Super Bowl last year. I don't see them not making it this year. And like I said, with that wide receiver room, the Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown 1-2, that man's going to put up some crazy numbers.
Don't forget about Goddard over the middle.
I was going to say, Goddard's reliable.
And they have Swift out of the backfield to catch balls.
People mention, like, oh, I'm worried about their wideout 3 and 4, Quez Watkins. It's like, dude, why?
Why?
He's their 5th option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still, for a 5th option, pretty quality.
Yeah, pretty solid for a 5th option. Who's the Cowboys' 5th option?
Noah Brown's gone.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Go to any team's 4th or 5th option.
Yeah.
Nobody's that deep.
Of course not. You can't be. Offensive player of the year.
Christian McCaffrey.
Thought about it a lot. I think he was 3rd or 4th in the odds. But go ahead and make your case. A pretty easy case to make.
Just pure upside, and in the system he's in, he is perfect. He will outperform Debo. He'll outperform Ayuk. And it really wouldn't shock me if he goes for 1,200 rushing yards and 600 to 700 receiving yards.
And very easily could have 10-plus touchdowns in both.
Yeah.
This could be like,
Prime.
barring injury, like prime LT level production. And both sides of that.
I don't
receiving and
think
rushing.
he'll get to the 1,000 mark again, because I don't think he'll get the volume in the receiving game for that.
Not the volume, but they open up a lot of huge plays.
Yeah.
Like the Niners offense, I think between Debo, McCaffrey, and Kittle all lead their positions in yak for like the past 3 years. So they get a lot of big open field, big chunk plays. So I love that pick.
I'm going Justin Jefferson.
Repeat.
Still the favorite, but does he go back-to-back? Wouldn't shock me.
I think he does. I mean, he's the clear-cut best wide receiver in the league. The man's done things that not a lot of people can, and I don't think a lot of people really will. And, I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't repeat.
Do we see JJ break the receiving record this year for yards?
We
Owned
could.
by Shane, do you know?
Is it Moss?
It is not Moss.
Oh, Jerry.
Not
No.
Jerry. Cam?
I believe it's still Calvin
It
Johnson.
is still Calvin Johnson, just short of 2,000.
And I believe Kupp was, like 15 yards
Very close.
from?
And now JJ playing 17 games instead of 16. No Thielen to take some targets away. I don't think Addison's going to make that much of an impact because you're still going to throw JJ the ball 15 times a game.
Just having Madison in the backfield.
This is my biggest stretch here. At plus 2,500,
Brandon Cooks.
Garrett Wilson. Rookie of the year last year. You bring in A-Rod. By all accounts, great chemistry. Clearly they're number one. Lazard has no concern for target share.
Just
Randall
end
Cobb
zone.
over the slot, maybe.
Those guys are just red zone targets.
Yeah. Cook, not a great receiver out of the backfield. Brees didn't get a whole lot of volume last year. Yeah, I love Wilson. Again, this is a stretch for sure, but I just try to make it a little more, out of the box thinking here. And I don't think it's that
we'll
outrageous.
get there for me.
Yeah. Let's go defensive player of the year.
It's Myles Garrett's year. With how stacked that D-line is, can't double him anymore.
You can't double everybody.
Yeah. He's gonna be great.
And most importantly, no more Joe Woods to hold him back.
Correct. We could see a sack record break here,
23,
I believe.
I think it's 22.5 is the record right now.
So we could see a sack record break.
Again, I doubled down on last year. He choked it away at the end, but Micah Parsons, I think he's going to be rushing more this year. Defense got better overall. Bringing in Gilmore, I think, if you really lock up that back end, give Parsons even more time to rush. He's going to play all over the field, barring injury. Big tackle numbers, big sack numbers, good in the run game, maybe 3-4 interceptions in coverage. I'm locking in my boy.
It's going to be hard to take anybody else. I also think the Browns could take the team sack record this year.
Ooh, that wouldn't shock me either. I know Garrett and Parsons are the top two, and I think in the past 6 games against the Bengals, Garrett has 9 sacks. So
Correct.
starting off week 1, maybe you get 2 or 3.
In Cleveland, especially?
With a potentially hobbled Joey B, not quite healthy week 1.
We'll
you
see.
never know. You never know.
I don't know what the odds look like on this, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to be Sauce Gardner.
I thought about that. It's tougher to go with a corner, especially a lockdown corner, because they don't put up like sexy numbers. But he's definitely the best corner in football.
Oh, by far the best corner in football, and I think a lot of it is going to shine now, especially because the Jets are going to be contenders. You're going to be
People are going to be
seeing a lot
way more focused
Yeah.
on the Jets.
My only thing there with him is he's got a murderer's row of number 1 wideout matchups.
Didn't
Not
phase him
saying
last year.
No.
it'll affect him,
If
but,
any, he should be better this year than he was last year.
which is a scary thought.
And I think putting him up against all of these crazy wideout ones is going to shine his case for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
even
motivate
more.
him even more and give him a stronger case.
Yeah.
You got Quinn Williams in the middle. You got Kobe Bryant on the outside across from him. Should be a very good Jets defense overall. Man, if only we had that Sauce cut out in here, right?
Oh, dude, we were so close, and then they threw out that outrageous number.
We weren't that close.
We were pretty close.
We were creeping our way in.
Couple $100 off.
Well, we were trying to pay nothing and just
Yeah. If
hit and run.
If we would have just brought Joe with us, that thing would have been ours.
Game over.
Yeah.
How about Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I got Stroud.
All the top 5 picks here, you can make a strong case for. Between Young, Bijan, Stroud, my guy, and maybe Shane's guy. Who knows?
Got Anthony
You already
Richardson?
said my guy.
Huh?
You already said my guy.
Young.
No. Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan the favorite in the best situation. But
Yeah,
Cam, do you want
definitely
to go on?
should have the most volume.
You want to go on Stroud further?
I think Stroud was probably the most NFL-ready quarterback. No expectations in Houston. Brand new scheme fitted around him. Great young talent in the receiving corps between John Mechie coming back, Nico Collins,
Tank Dell.
Tank
I
Dell.
like Tank a lot.
They have Damian Pierce, so you can't. He's going to have open lanes to run.
They brought in some O-line help.
Brought in some O-line help. Have a pretty solid defense, all things
Bring in
considered.
Dalton Schultz, too.
Dalton Schultz over the
Reliable
middle.
tight end. And vet Bobby Tree still. Not going to get volume, but reliable. Should help build his confidence.
A lot of options, and I think he'll be pretty good. He's got a winner's mentality, too,
For sure.
which I like a lot, and he is very adamant about wanting to correct his mistakes during the game. Like at his preseason outing where he threw 3 passes, one of them was picked. He was mad that his coach wouldn't let him back in the game. I like that mentality a lot.
He has short memory. He definitely blows by mistakes quick. And hopefully, corrects them as the season goes on.
So we could be looking at like a ceiling, probably 4K yards. I'm thinking probably like 35 touchdowns, 10 picks.
That's MVP level production right there.
Yeah.
It's a very high ceiling.
I think that's his ceiling. His floor, I'll say probably 3,500 yards with 26 touchdowns and 7 picks.
It's also a very high floor.
I'm pretty high on him.
I hope so, man. We need one Buckeye quarterback to be able to throw the ball efficiently. Because I love Fields as a runner, but let's see what he does this year. And now Shane.
I went Bijan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the easiest case to make. He's in an offense where there's no real other weapons at all. They made it pretty clear it's going to be a run-first offense.
Wee! That's
What?
a hot take. It's kind of a flaming hot take.
I would say Drake London is a great
Drizzy Drake and
Kyle Pitts and
Kyle
Tyler
Pitts.
Algier
And you bring in
and
deep threat
Cordero Patterson
Mac Hollins.
Okay.
and Mac Hollins,
Hey. Kyle Pitts hasn't done anything ever.
except
And
his rookie year.
And also look at what he did with Ritter when Ritter came into the games last year.
Production
Drake and Pitts both
way up.
skyrocketed.
I'll never understand why he's so high. I don't think he's that good.
I wouldn't say he's high right now.
I think he had like one of the best rookie seasons as a tight end ever.
Yeah, but that was his rookie season. That's been what?
2 years.
3?
2.
2? Okay.
He's going into his third year. So,
Okay. So this is his third year.
Also, super young for a third year still. He's only like 21 still.
Is he really that young?
Maybe 22, but he's younger than some of these rookie guys that just got drafted in this class.
I didn't think he was that young.
and with his production going up with
Ritter.
Ritter, not his volume, but his production with the little volume he was getting, they're going to give him more volume by default.
I still think it's going to be Bijan's offense, though.
Yeah,
I agree.
Either way, with those pieces, that shouldn't affect Bijan's output.
I just wanted to correct you because
Okay.
he's not their only offensive piece.
But he's going to be the spotlight of it.
Should be.
Should be. Again, they bring in, I think, 2 O-line signings. Already had a good O-line last year, one of the best running teams. Bijan's good out of the backfield catching balls. Should definitely have that Najee volume factor, but also just being a better
Way more
athlete
production.
overall.
Yeah.
Probably should average more than 2.5 yards per carry.
You would hope so. Behind that line, with a mobile quarterback too, he throws some
Helps.
RPOs,
Yeah.
little options back there. Bijan is the favorite by a relatively big margin, and I hope it pays out because my keeper league, I got my 1 share of Bijan. I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs for kind of the same reasons as Bijan. Probably won't get as much volume, but pass catching, good run game. I just wonder how they're going to use that him and Montgomery split with the way they used Swift and Jamal Williams last year. I don't think Gibbs will get the end zone carries, the goal line carries, but between the 20s, catching balls, a lot of upside there. He's at plus 900. I think he's 5th. But I think this is going to be the closest race of the awards.
Yeah.
A lot of guys here. Because, again, Bryce Young, didn't mention him.
And it
but,
was a pretty solid quarterback class as opposed to last year.
yeah, for sure.
So definitely a lot tighter of a race.
Dark horse, Will Levis. Assuming maybe he gets some
I don't
starting
think so.
time.
No.
You never know.
That's still Tannehill's game. If he goes down, I think Malik Willis beat out Levis from
At
all
least
camp
on the
reports.
depth chart. Yeah.
So
I do like the tight end class, but none of those guys will see enough volume to be Rookie of the Year. So I think between us 3, we definitely picked the winner. Now, who it is, I don't know yet, but
Someone here picked the winner, though.
defensive Rookie
unless
of
it's
the Year.
Bryce Young.
You never know.
Go ahead. I'll let you guys go first.
Me go
on this
first?
one.
This is a guy we talked about as soon as he got drafted. I love the pick. I thought he fell too far. Going into, like Bijan, the best system for him, Jalen Carter. DT in Philly, already a great defensive line. His stock fell because of that offseason issue with the racing thing, whatever.
Perfect
But,
for Philly.
Yeah, great talent, great system. Good against the run and the pass rush. I think he's the second highest odds behind Will Anderson. Shane, what do you got?
You said everything that I was going to say. Jalen Carter.
Love it.
Yeah.
And here we go. It's a spicy take here.
We're going to the NFC North,
Okay.
to Green Bay.
Okay.
We're going Lucas Van Ness.
Whew. Iowa linebacker.
He's edge.
Yeah,
And-
edge. The TJ Watt kind of thing.
One, with playing the Vikings twice a year, the Lions twice a year, and the Bears twice a year, that's a lot of sacks he can put up. If he starts out hot, all those divisional games, already pretty solid defense in Green Bay,
Yep.
especially pretty solid pass rush.
Rashawn Gary is going to get a lot of those doubles, leaving
He's-
Van Ness open one-on-one.
I love it.
I like the Packers overall. I think as long as Jay Love is decent, they're going to contend. And Van Ness definitely lower in the odds, more of a long shot, but I really like that pick a lot. How about Coach of the Year?
Sauce Gardner was low last year, too. Let's not forget that.
Shouldn't have been. Guess we wrote him off.
I didn't.
The show this show did not. This show loved him. Let's let Shane go Coach of the Year here.
I said Sean Payton.
A big opportunity to turn around a terrible team.
I was
Yeah,
going
to-
to say, just
to go
And
from
not even really a terrible team, just a terribly coached team.
underachieving
schematic.
team.
a
Yeah.
team that performed very poorly last year. I think now with Sean Payton, who's proven he's a great coach, you have the pieces there to be successful. He's definitely got the best case for Coach of the Year.
The best narrative case to come in and fix Russ and fix that
And-
offense.
Yeah.
I agree, and my playoff rankings agree, but I picked Zach Taylor because it's the Bengals' year, man.
I went Doug Peterson
Ooh.
in Jacksonville.
Okay.
I think it's very sneaky. Again, I love the Jags playing in the probably easiest division in football. They should mop the floor with the Colts, Texans, and I think Tennessee as well. I loved them last year. I think they overachieved last year. Getting Calvin Ridley in here, solid defense, decent draft. I like the Jags a lot. I like Doug Peterson a lot.
Want to take a quick break to cool off a little bit and then go into playoffs?
I'm fine with that. What we at here, Shane? 35, 40?
We're at 50.
God damn.
Yeah.
Rolling right along.
Unexpected.
Second GD.
GDs.
Yeah. We're trying not to get demonetized here, dude.
My mistake. I forgot how to censor myself for YouTube.
You guys made fun of me for my language. I haven't slipped up once.
Well, you slip up a more severe way than we usually do.
I haven't slipped up at all.
You've done good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
So, episode 53 of SNS back after this. We kind of missed the opportunity for beach bod summer, but never too late to get prep for next year.
Exactly.
You know, problem is, I hate going to the gym
Shredfest 2K24. What's stopping us?
ourselves
And going to the gym.
because it does suck, honestly.
It's embarrassing.
There's too many people there.
And
Hogging
the people,
equipment.
and all the people who are there usually are already fit.
Not even, I don't care about that, but they're always taking up too many weights, taking photo shoots in the mirror. I'm trying to work out, dude.
Yeah, I don't want to be in those either.
I waste too much time waiting for stuff. I want to get in, have my routine set,
Yeah.
burn through it.
And if I'm running on the treadmill, I don't want to be in your picture at that point.
I don't
I have
care.
no
Usually
pump.
My music's locked in, or a podcast is locked in.
But I have no pump. Like, I'm in a tracksuit.
Well, you got to pre-pump before you go run.
You go in the
So-
tracksuit, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Looking like a full-on, just like mafioso?
Yeah, a Russian mobster.
Yeah.
Well, not like that. Sweats and a hoodie.
Okay, that's not a tracksuit.
Not a matching tracksuit.
No.
Matching
but it is a
tracksuit would be hilarious.
Although, how dope would a matching SNS tracksuits be?
It'd be pretty sick. And you could wear it when you have your own personal fitness trainer come to your house, Evan Keaton.
Come to your house.
Come to your house, dude.
What?
Evan Keaton, a certified personal trainer, will come to your house. He does charge a mileage fee if
Well,
it's...
the only thing is, I don't have any equipment here, though.
Oh, he'll bring it, dude. Don't even worry
He
about
has
it.
equipment?
He has equipment.
This guy's professional.
He is a professional. He's ACE certified.
I don't know who Ace is, but thank you for certifying my boy Evan Keaton.
How could I
Exactly.
get a hold of this guy?
You can get a hold of this guy 3 different ways. His email, allthingsfitness15@gmail.com. Cell phone 937-308-6324. I'll say that again, 937-308-6324. Or his website, allthingsfit.org.
That's big time. But almost even bigger than fitness for me, the actual exercise is like the diet, you know? It's really hard, too.
It is tough.
Don't even worry about it. That man's got all the expertise that you need.
Nutrition advice?
He knows all the I can't say it anymore.
Oh, no, you messed it up, too.
I did. Yeah.
Intricacies.
Intricacies. He knows all of them.
Personalized to my needs.
To
and
your
my
needs.
goals.
Yes. Not
Reach out.
generalized. Personalized.
That goes a long way. That, like you said, Cam, there's really nothing stopping us now
Nothing at all.
from Shredfest Beach Bod 2024.
Nothing.
You can get started with Evan Keaton.
And Super Bowl predictions. By seed, in order. We got them all laid out right here.
AFC first?
Let's go AFC first. You're 1 seed.
Let's go 7-1.
I like that. 3 wild cards. Starting off with.
Number 7, the New York Jets.
Okay. I like that. Because I don't think they win the division. But they should be good enough for a playoff spot.
I agree.
I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh.
Which is hot because their division is so tough.
It is.
Yeah.
But defense still great. I think the offense is going to be better than people think.
Oh, Pickett.
Pickens, I think Pickens improved a lot last year. The line got better.
He's got to throw more touchdowns than interceptions if they want that to happen.
That's
now.
the most important thing. But ultimately, I trust Mike Tomlin more than almost any other coach in the league. But again, that division is going to be their one holdup.
It's tough.
Shane, you're 7 seed in the AFC.
I went Chargers just because they're in such a stacked division, and it's hard to say that anyone but the Chiefs are going to win because any year that you think that, the Chiefs always pull it through.
Last year being the most obvious choice.
Yeah. And, I mean, all of my records from 7 to, 5? They're all going to have similar records. I mean,
Oh, yeah, super
within a
close.
game of each other.
AFC especially, so tight. So many good teams.
Yeah, and for the wild cards, I didn't think that the order mattered too much because they're
As
all
much.
kind of interchangeable. So, yeah, I'm going LA Chargers.
The 6 seed.
Who was your 7?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. 6 seed, the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is their year, but they're only going to get in a wild card spot.
Hey, just wait.
New York Giants, Eli-esque. My 7? Tough to say this, man, but the Buffalo Bills. Definitely a playoff team, but in a division with 3 legit contenders, and New England kind of in that Pittsburgh area too, with a worse offense, but you can never really count them out. I think the Bills definitely make the playoffs, but only a wild card spot.
For my 6, I'm going the New York Jets.
Okay.
Because, again, all of these guys are going to have similar records, and their division is just so tough. They've got Miami and Buffalo in there. I don't think they're going to have a better record than both of them. So, I mean, you had them at 7, I have them at 6. Same thing.
Your 5 seed, Cam. The first wild card.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Son of a bitch, you stole my thunder. Tough to say it, and I hate to repeat from last year, talking them down a little bit.
Well, I know who your division winner is, and it's not mine.
I know it's not, because I know who yours is too, because you mentioned it briefly earlier.
You did.
Oh, man. Chiefs, I hate to say it down here, but I think losing Chris Jones is a big deal.
He's the literal difference between their pass rush being number 1 and number 28.
Correct. You've seen the numbers. I don't have them on me, but we've seen that. We've talked about the numbers. Huge difference. And let's say, I hate to say it, but maybe this Kelsey injury lingers a little bit longer. Do you trust Sky Moore, MVS, Kadarius Toney? You still have Mahomes and Reed. I get that. But skill is kind of a
important.
step down. Yeah. So yeah, same for me. Chiefs at 5. First wild card.
For my 5, I'm going the Buffalo Bills. I mean, same exact thing I just said for the Jets. Tough division. Definitely a playoff team. I don't think they're winning the division.
For some.
They're
not in my playoffs.
They're not in your playoffs at all?
No.
Whoa.
Who'd you say? Bills?
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll spoil it now. The Jets not in my playoffs.
Number 4,
The first division winner, but the worst one.
the Jacksonville Jaguars. Have the easiest division to win. Really, no one else should win it, no matter what the record is.
And they should win it by probably 3 or 4 games.
Should.
On paper.
Yes.
For my 4, I'm going Cincinnati Bengals. I think they win the division. I don't think it's by a lot, so their record's going to reflect that. I think they're definitely going to lose at least once to Cleveland, once to Baltimore, and then Pittsburgh is always a toss, and then I'll throw in a couple, they'll probably go 12-5.
Very reasonable. My 4 is the Miami Dolphins.
Love it.
Banking a lot on Tua being healthy, playing the whole year, but I think they're very balanced both sides of the ball. Super potent offense. Could have easily a pair of 1,500-plus yard receivers. Running back room's a little shaky, but I think there's a lot of depth there they can get by. Only question for me is maybe how the O-line holds up. And I think especially if Tua does go down, then they do not make the playoffs.
And I agree with that 100%. My number 3 seed, the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, my God. Did not see that coming, actually. But you got to go with it, right? You got to believe.
They're all in this year.
Yeah.
And I think Deshaun Watson's going to shock a lot of people.
It wouldn't be a shock to me personally. But I think overall, yeah, I agree.
So, yeah.
Again, big thing there. Held him back last year, losing Joe Woods.
It should be top 5 defense finish.
And on paper could also be a top 5 kind of offense.
It very well could be.
My number 3, I already said it. I don't want to count these guys out ever because every time I did, they always pulled it through. Kansas City. It's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid at this point. Every time I think that they're not going to do well because their division just keeps getting better and better every single year, and they still win every single year. I have to go KC at 3.
I agree.
Yeah, I
don't have any
nothing out of the ordinary there.
discrepancies.
Yeah.
They'll be in the playoffs one way or another.
my 3, similar to your Brownies, I got to stick with my Chargers. I think I don't know how much I actually think it, but I want to believe they win the division. I still think this is the best team they've had yet with Herbie. Again, strong O-line. Slater's healthy at left tackle. Defense should be as good as it was last year, but I think the best O-line and best receiving core he's had yet, they should at least put up points. And barring a Herbert injury, I'm not sold on the Broncos quite yet. Chiefs should be a step down. Give me my Chargers, goddammit.
Hopefully you get them. Number 2, the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, higher. I thought I would be the highest on them.
No, sir.
Love to see it.
My number 2, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
I think that they're going to have an insane record this year. I don't think they lose a single game in their division. Honestly, it's just such a bad division surrounding them.
Tennessee, you never know. But yeah, on paper, they should probably go 6-0.
They should. And then 6-0 is a fantastic start to just go and run wild because you're going to have a lot of momentum. They have a European game. They usually play pretty well over there. I think they're going to be phenomenal this year. Adding Calvin Ridley is going to do more than I think a lot of people expect.
Yeah, offense was great last year.
Yeah.
And you throw Ridley in there too? Yeah. My 2 is the Cincinnati Bengals. Because I also think this could be their year.
It should be.
All in. Joey B's healthy. Great receiving core. I think it's still kind of an underrated defense. People don't talk about them enough. Losing Jesse Bates, they still had a good draft, replaced him. Love Logan Wilson. Love Hendrickson, good front 4. Zach Taylor, I think, is good enough to not lose them games. Tough division, yes. Very tough, probably as tough. Honestly, between the AFC East, West, and North,
It's all tough.
bloodbath. Honestly,
Yeah.
top to bottom. But yeah, Bengals, my 2 seed.
Number 1, your Denver Broncos will win the AFC.
Hot take.
That'd be a hell of a turnaround.
Definitely help me win my Coach of the Year pick.
Absolutely. That's they have the defense. They have the offense. Russ reverts back to MVP Russ. I mean, it's the same case I'm making for the Browns.
Even if not MVP Russ, just back to good Russ, they win 12 games.
Yeah, because their problem last year was points for.
The lowest since like the Browns, like second lowest all time since like the 02 Browns, I think.
Yeah.
Defense was one of the best ever. And they didn't really lose anybody. And you bring in Sean Payton. I like it. It's spicy. It's unique.
Yeah. I like the pick, though. My number 1, Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
I'm actually the lowest Dolphins lover here.
Are you?
I had them at 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that this year Tua stays healthy. I think they're going to definitely try and put a focus on that after last year because they got a lot of flack for letting him do the things that he did.
Did you hear that?
Got a lot of flack.
He meant slack.
No, he meant flack.
It's slack.
What?
It's slack.
Is it?
Shane, yes.
Then why do they say cut me
I don't
some
know
slack?
why.
That makes no sense.
He got a lot of slack.
Just carry on.
Okay, they've got 2 receivers, like you said, that could go 1,500. Their running back room is not that bad. And I think that they're going to have an amazing defense, especially if Ramsey can get back. I think that they have the potential to be the best team in the league.
Yeah, like Cam said earlier, they had a great defense last year without Ramsey.
Yeah.
Shaking up in the AFC.
Man, and honestly, any of these teams, this could go any way. It's so deep. But my 1 is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
I love the Jags on both sides of the ball. I think, again, with that easy schedule, it's going to be an easy push to get some 6 relatively simple wins. And I think they improved on both sides. Ridley's going to be a big addition. T-Law is going to keep getting better. Limit the turnovers. Love Peterson calling the plays there. Give me the Jags, dude. All in.
I forgot to talk about this, but they got Etienne and Tank Bigsby.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, skill-wise, one of the best in all of football.
I think
Should
so.
be.
Yeah.
Again, only question there, maybe not a top-tier O-line, but I like the defense. They have a relatively easy schedule. All in. Jags, Chargers, baby. My 2 adopted AFC teams. Let's go NFC, which is now nowhere near as deep, but still competitive.
A little spicy.
Let's go 7. The lowest wild card.
The Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, now that's spicy.
Absolutely.
That is spicy. Go ahead and make your case.
Stafford's back healthy. We know what he's capable of.
For now.
Cup, week 1 miss, will be healthy for the rest of the year. We know what he's capable of. Still have Donald. They lost Ramsey, which is what it is. He didn't have a great year last year anyways, but it's coming.
I've heard worse. I do think their defense is pretty bad overall. But you get to play the Cardinals twice. 2 easy wins there. Offense still solid, even without Cup. They have enough skill guys, assuming Stafford does stay healthy, to put points up, get some jobs done. But I would be shocked if they do make the playoffs. Shane, you're 7.
For my 7, I'm going the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
That's even spicier.
I think they're going to have a good season. I don't think that Justin Fields is going to put up the numbers that people are thinking he will. I know that they've improved on both sides of the ball, but I think Justin Fields is going to rely a lot more on his rush game, and that's just not going to win the division.
Do you guys hear that buzz?
I do hear that buzz.
Levels still look good there, Shane? Everything cool?
We've
No.
had the buzz before.
It just happened when you moved your mic stand. Probably nothing, but
I'm
Yeah.
going to pause
I always
it.
worry about that.
I'm going to pause it and make sure audio setup's still looking good. Give it 1 sec.
All right, my 7 is going to be the Green Bay Packers.
J Love bringing it in.
Again, I don't think they win that division, although it wouldn't totally shock me if they did. But I like the J Love, Watson, Dobbs. I like Musgrave a lot. Still have a nice two-headed monster in the backfield and the slot with Dillon and Jones. Defense, still average at least, if not slightly above. Matt LaFleur, still a great coach. And I think overall it's probably, besides the AFC South, the easiest division to win in football. So it can be wild card, Green Bay.
Like it. Number 6, I got your Cowboys. I don't think they're the division winners, but the separation of them and the Eagles I don't think will be that much. Maybe 2 games tops. But again, bringing back the whole same team, they make the playoffs every year in some fashion. So definitely expect your wild card loss again this year.
I already am, don't worry. They're also my 6. Same reasoning. I don't think we're better than the Eagles yet. Still a playoff team, and I think we'll have a better record than a division winner. Maybe 2 division winners, but if you can't win your division, you're going to be stuck in a wild card spot and have to win a tough first game on the road. So we'll see. Shane, you're 6.
My 6, I went Seattle. I don't think they're going to win the division, but I think they're going to be really competitive. I think they're going to have a really good record if Geno, plays the way that he's being paid to play. They've got amazing weapons on offense. They've got DK. They have Kenny Walker, Zach Charbonnet. I mean, there's no reason that they should miss the playoffs.
I concur. And your top wild card, Cam?
Minnesota. I mean, they should beat out the Packers and the Bears pretty easily. And they should beat out the Commanders, the Giants, the Cardinals, all that good stuff. So, should be a pretty easy pathway to the playoffs again. And they didn't get any worse. Kind of kept the same team, got a little bit better defensively. So, definitely I'm expecting a wild card finish there.
Yeah, and losing Cook shouldn't be that big of a hit.
He was hurt a lot, wasn't really utilized as much in the offense. His volume was pretty low. So,
my 5, first wild card, little spicy. The San Fran 49ers. I think narrowly lose the division, but do have probably still a 12-5 record, if not higher, and lock up that first wild card spot.
wow.
Yeah. We're going out of the box here, boys.
Okay.
Shane, your top wild card.
I went your Dallas Cowboys because I don't think that they're at the point right now where they can match the Eagles' record. But like Cam said, they always find a way to get into the playoffs somehow. I mean, they've got a good team on both sides of the balls. There's no reason that they'd miss the playoffs. I think you'll see them in the wild card.
And your lowest division winner.
New Orleans Saints
We'll agree there. Again, yep.
should easily win that division. They
Yeah.
have by far the most proven team out of the bunch. I mean, barring Baker goes back to what he did his second year in Cleveland, then that's the only way. The Panthers shouldn't win that. That should be the Saints division to lose.
I almost went Atlanta. I think they'll be in contention. This will be a close division overall.
But the runner-up won't be good enough to take a wild card
No,
spot.
even the Saints might be like 8-9
Yeah.
and win the division with a losing record. Definitely the best defense of those 4 teams. Derek Carr gets a lot of hate, but you know what you're getting. You're going to get numbers. Love Olave, Kamara back after suspension.
Michael Thomas healthy.
Mike Thomas maybe coming back and, again, being a shade of what he used to be. They should, on paper, definitely win that division.
For my lowest division winner, I actually went the Atlanta Falcons.
I don't hate it. Again, I thought a lot about those 2 teams.
I mean, I think that with Bijan, they're going to have an amazing run game. They're going to have a decent pass game. Defense is pretty good.
We talked about it a lot. I think Atlanta improved the most of anybody in the offseason.
Yeah.
Any team.
With all those signings and the draft picks. I just I haven't seen enough of Desmond Ridder to say he can win a division quite yet.
Well, like you said, I think the division winner could easily go 8-9, and I could definitely see Atlanta getting that and the New Orleans losing a couple like 1-possession games and just knocking themselves out like that. I'm not like amazingly confident saying like, yeah, Atlanta's definitely going to win, but I could see it for sure.
It's not a stretch by any means.
No.
Number 3, your Detroit Lions.
God, me too.
Me too.
First unanimous pick?
I think it is.
Okay. Shane, let's give you your insight first here.
I think that losing DeAndre Swift, adding Jahmyr Gibbs, you're not going to notice a decline on the run game. Jared Goff is a great game manager. They've got the wide receivers to be competitive. On the defensive side of the ball, I think that's where they really shine. Their defense should be really dangerous this year. I like the pick right there.
Yeah, maybe the best O-line in football. Again, losing Swift for Montgomery, basically a fair trade-off. If anything, Montgomery a little better catching balls out of the backfield.
Yeah.
But Gibbs, same way. Love Dan Campbell. That's my X factor.
Yeah.
Defense, I don't think is that good, but they did add some pieces that should make a difference.
Aiden Hutchinson should step up more this year, too.
And again, like we touched on before with the Packers, I think the division is just kind of weak overall. But definitely a close race between them, Minnesota, and Green Bay. Any more comments, questions, concerns on Detroit?
You hit the nail on the head there.
Let's go number 2.
The Philadelphia Eagles. As we talked about with the Cowboys, they should win that division pretty easily. Really no questions asked. It's their division to lose. And they're coming off of a very hot year. And as long as their defense stays great, their offense stays great, there's really no reason they shouldn't win the division.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a coin toss for the 1 and 2, Philly.
Yeah, that's how I am. I have San Fran 2, Philly 1. You could really swap either one. I think the records are probably going to be the same. Even in the division, I mean, they're both in pretty similar divisions where they've got one team that they could definitely lose a couple games to. But for the most part, it should just be all domination this season.
This is where I'm going spicy. Number 2, Seattle Seahawks. Again, banking on Geno having a repeat performance, if not hopefully better, bringing in JSN, bringing in Charbonnet. Similar to the Jags, I think the problem could be the O-line, but great skill players. I love the 3-headed cornerback monster of Tariq Woolen. They bring in Devon Witherspoon and the other young dude they got on the other end. Front 4 is decent, should get enough pass rush with the back end holding up, hopefully for longer especially. And Pete Carroll, man, you can never count him out. Still a quasi-top 5 coach in the league. It wouldn't shock me if they don't win the division, but got to go outside the box here.
Number 1's where I go, the Niners. Just by far the most stacked offense in the league. And returning Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa, on a pretty solid defense. No reason they should lose more than 4 games.
Yeah, the only question I've seen people ask, which I don't really agree with, is was Brock Purdy a fluke last year? Will teams figure him out this year? I don't think it matters because of the system.
Yeah, what is there to figure out? He's a game manager.
Around him. Even that's kind of underrating him. He's got a lot of talent.
He does.
You know, he's like a Derek Carr, but with better rushing upside and better decision making.
Yes, but it's still utilized as a game manager.
Yeah, you don't need to ask him to throw 45 times a game.
Correct.
I think that it's not going to be a whole lot different than just having Jimmy G in there. Like you said, a lot more rushing upside, but for the most part, their team didn't change.
Man, losing Trey Lance, though, huge hit. How can they overcome that? And my one, of course, is Philly. Again, like you guys already touched on, I can see Philly and San Fran having the exact same kind of records. To be very close for that one seed, but I think Philly, you mentioned your Hurts MVP thing with the motivation he has to lead that team. Again, I don't think losing the Oko is going to make that much of a difference. Adding Jalen Carter in that front four, still a great secondary. They kept most of their pieces there. Should probably go at least 5-1 in division because Dallas will never sweep them. Might get swept, but they should handle Washington, should handle New York. I have not seen their out-of-division schedule, but even then, they play very well against top teams. How about your Super Bowl picks here, boys?
I'm going to go Miami and Philly. I mean, I have them number one both sides for a reason. I think that they're going to win the leagues or win the divisions and then go on. And I think I want to say Philly takes it in the Super Bowl.
Even though most teams who lose a Super Bowl don't make it back the next year.
I don't think that's the case this year,
It's going to be an exception.
This is going to be the exception. Absolutely.
I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals and the 49ers.
We have the exact same Super Bowl matchup.
When you mentioned that earlier, I thought we had that, and I got the Bengals taking it.
So do I.
Bengals over San Fran.
And I've got Jamar Chase, Super Bowl MVP.
I didn't go that far. I'll probably go Burrow because usually quarterbacks get it. But yeah, I think even though, for me, San Fran wild card, just by a game probably. I think overall they're still better in playoff situations. And yeah, I think it's the Bengals' year to finally get over that hump, be healthy, and put all the pieces together.
Couldn't agree more.
I know last year, I think, what are Super Bowl picks? I think we were way off.
I had the Rams.
I think you had Rams, Colts.
No, I had Buccaneers, Colts.
I had Rams and somebody.
With Jonathan Taylor winning.
Yeah,
Super
we were
Bowl MVP.
We were a little bit off the mark on those ones. But overall, I do feel much more confident about this year's picks. How about our first SNS 2023 Power Rankings? Our top 10. Which I think when the season starts, we'll go back to 5.
Yeah.
But preseason, we'll do a full 10 right here. Starting off with number 10.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think I wanted to put them a little bit higher, but you made some strong points. I think for now, 10's a nice spot for them to fall in. But I think like from that 8 to the 13, really any order there could kind of fall into place.
Yeah, I agree.
9, we're going Jets, which I had them lower. But again, these teams are so close. I just want to see some on-field performance first before I'm really sold.
Yeah, I agree.
Number 8, Shane, do you have these or no?
No, I don't have them.
Go and take 8 then, Cam.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Super Bowl champs.
You didn't pick them.
No, I don't think they will. I think they'll have great individual performances, but they're still the Chargers. Choke in the big game. Yeah. 7, we're going Miami. Could very well make their way into the top 3, even after week 1. Miami and LA does play week 1. Juicy matchup there. Number 6.
The Dallas Cowboys.
I'm already scared, man.
You can't not put them in the top 10.
Of course, again, on talent, both sides of the ball. Probably a top 3 defense, assuming Dak doesn't turn the ball over 5 times a game like the end of last year. Offense should be in the top 10 as well, if not higher. But you always got Mike McCarthy back there to kind of hold you back a little bit.
Probably Mike McCarthy's last year.
Anything lower than a NFC title game appearance, I'd say he's probably gone.
Number
Because
5.
Nobody's more desperate to win than Jerry.
That is true.
Number 5. Shane, you want to guess here?
I'm going to guess the Cleveland Browns.
No. They
Come on
did
now.
not make the top 10.
Okay. Can I get another guess?
No.
Okay.
We're going Buffalo Bills.
Because you weren't going to guess them, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Again, Von Miller out to at least week 4 on the pup. But you know what the Bills are. They've been there the past 3-4 years, consistent. Firepower on both sides of the ball. Still on paper, maybe the best team in that division, but it will be very close. So for now, the Bills at 5. Number 4.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Super Bowl champs.
Super Bowl champs. We'll probably start next year's as the number 1.
Number 3 is, these 3 could be any kind of a coin flip, but we settled on Niners at 3, Eagles 2, and Chiefs 1 as your defending champs. But let us know your guys' top 5, top 10. Any hot takes you guys got? Anything you guys disagree with about ours?
Other than pretty much all of my playoff picks.
Nah. I think overall, again, we had some disagreements, but overall, none of these would shock me.
The Broncos number 1 wouldn't shock you?
No, if they put the things together that they have the potential to do, it wouldn't shock me.
I almost put the Chargers over the Chiefs in the wild card, where the Chiefs miss.
You hate to say they miss, because we learned a lesson last year. If I didn't love the Chargers so much, it'd be easier to do that, but... Now, before we go to our first 2023 and the first 3-man sleeper draft, you want to recap our OCM fantasy draft, or you'll save that for a different time?
Yeah, we can do that next week. It is very hot up here today.
Oh, come on, boys. You got to power through. This guy's a firefighter running PT.
He's probably good. I'm about to pass out.
It's hot. It's toasty.
So let's go into our sleeper draft, which we drafted live draft before the show. Snake style, so by position, quarterbacks first. I picked first. We're going Sam Howell in what should be an easy matchup against probably the worst team in football. Bring in Bieniemy. You got McLaurin and Dotson, 2 good running backs. Some question marks at O-line, but I think I should put up a solid number. And of course, again, our criteria for this is based on ESPN standard rankings. Quarterbacks are 12 or below, running backs 12 or below, wideouts 24 or below, and then tight ends, sticking with 5?
Yes.
5 and under. So Sam Howell is my quarterback for sleeper week 1.
My quarterback, I'm going Derek Carr. I think you've got good offensive weapons there. You got Chris Olave. I think Michael Thomas will probably do a little bit. And then if my ESPN would load, I'd be able to tell you the exact points that they're projecting him. I think it was like 12 or 13, and he's easily going to blow through that.
Yeah, that seems very low.
Yeah.
He should. Yeah. My quarterback is Jordan Love.
Sneaky pick. Like it a lot.
Like you said, the Packers should outperform what people think they will. Jordan Love, based on the small sample size we have, looks to be pretty solid.
Already great chemistry with Watson, and in the preseason at least, their offense is set. Pretty much 100% of snaps was Watson, Dobbs, Musgrave, and then Jones and Dillon based on the package. So locked in, easy chemistry to build and maintain.
Love it.
And their first matchup, I forget who they got this week, but high upside there for J. Love.
Then the first running back taken was me with Cam Akers.
Another very sneaky pick.
Should be, again, pretty solid.
Only guy in that backfield. Should get good volume. And came back very strong at the end of last year after he got healthy.
Yeah, he was on the upswing.
Yeah.
And with the pass game healthy, even with just Van Jefferson, it's going to be pretty easy for him to get those open runs.
For my first running back, I went Alexander Madison. I was kind of shocked that he fell outside the top 12 because I think that, he really is Minnesota's only option rushing and pass catching. He's got a lot of upside. I forget how many points. I wish I could pull it up, but he should easily blow through it.
Then I went Samaje Perine because I'm not sure how much Javonte is going to get used week 1.
At least week 1, yeah.
Yeah, eventually Perine will not be a pick in further sleeper drafts. But for week 1, he should be the workhorse there with a Sean Payton hopefully run first or at least split offense. And again, he's a third down guy. We saw it last year in Cincy. Good pass catching upside. I think it's a nice safe pick, high floor, but probably a low ceiling for a sleeper pick. Then I doubled down my running backs with Jahmyr Gibbs. Same kind of thing. Pass catching, should get probably 10, 12 carries, hopefully get in the end zone, and put some decent numbers up for an RB2 for a sleeper.
I went Kenny Walker as my second running back. I I think he's going to do pretty well. They have him projected at 14 points. I could definitely see him getting 20. And, I mean, as a RB2 outside the top 12, you can't really do much better.
Yeah, biggest intrigue there is how they split him and Charbonnet.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of debate there. If Charbonnet does get close to a 40-60 share or maybe nothing.
See, I don't think it's going to be nothing, but I could definitely see it being like a 70-30 type of deal. And honestly, at 70-30, give me Kenny Walker.
Big play upside all day.
Yeah, I agree. I went Dameon Pierce.
It's an absolute steal.
Again, locked in. Had a great year last year. Should continue with a better pass game, more open field for him to run through. First wideout off the board, I took Drake London.
Incredible pick there, too.
So,
even though Bijan's the only weapon on that offense.
Correct.
Which would probably go on the Shane wall of bad takes, right?
Dude, you can't even count that one. I was just at 4 hours of PT.
That's not an
you can still
excuse
think
for
it
is
bad
an
takes.
excuse.
What you say.
It's going on the wall.
Okay. Well, this isn't going on the wall. First wide receiver I took, Jahan Dotson.
Stole my pick big
I
time.
did. You were mad.
That's the one guy of all my sleepers I had written down. I wanted him the most.
I'm pretty confident, man. They're playing a horrible defense. It should be. I mean, they're playing against the team that's most obviously tanking.
Yeah.
So they're not going to try and play well at all.
McLaurin maybe limited with that toe injury.
Yeah.
Even fully healthy, it wouldn't shock me if Jahan Dotson becomes their wideout one.
No, he looks great.
Oh,
Dude, everything I'm reading is super high on Dotson.
I get it, but I think people also forget how talented Scary Terry is.
For sure, totally agree. And now you're seeing people draft Dotson above Terry, which I think is crazy.
Insane. Dotson is not more talented than Terry. Terry's on like the same level as like Justin Jefferson.
In terms of skill, yeah.
In reality.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the offense around him to produce as much.
Until maybe now. So my first wideout was George Pickens in Pittsburgh. Again, I think a big upside.
And you have a lot of shares of him in fantasy, don't
Yeah, I think
you?
at least 3, I think, as a bench guy.
It's just hard.
One was a keeper in like the 14th round.
It's hard for me to pick anyone on the Steelers because all of them could be their number one, and it's not because they're that good. It's just because they're all kind of on the same level. You don't really know who to pick.
For sure. But I think Pickens has the biggest big play ability, biggest touchdown ability.
And he is, you can quote me on this, going to save Kenny Pickett's career.
You've said that before. And I'm not going to say I disagree with that. Then my next wideout was Brandon Ayuk. Kind of similar to Pickens, like you said, Shane. Lot of shares got to go around. There's so many guys on the offense, but I think Ayuk is a good red zone threat, even though everybody on that team is.
And they're all big play guys,
Yeah,
too.
big physical, definitely a big play guy, and hopefully gets more of those red zone shares.
I doubled down on Washington receivers because, I mean, it is questionable that Terry plays, but if he plays, it's going to be a great pick.
Well, that was your flex pick.
Either way, you can
yeah.
plug him in anywhere.
You're right. That's the same thing.
We'll stick with Terry for now.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing a team tanking like crazy, horrible defense. It should be receptions all around.
And hopefully Bieniemy utilizes Terry and Dotson like they should be utilized.
You heard it here first. 35 receptions between Dotson and Terry with probably 400 yards, 6 scores.
Something like that.
Give or take.
Great showing for Mr. Sam Howell also.
Points for me, baby.
I went with very deep in the sleeper realm here, Mr. Odell Beckham Jr.
That's a true sleeper.
My expectation is one big 75-yard play for a touchdown.
Wouldn't shock me at all. Maybe 2 even. Who knows?
That's where I set my expectation.
They brought him in for a reason, right?
He's got big play capabilities still, no matter how you look at it, even if you hate the guy. So I'm hoping he at least gets one. And week 1 is when you're most likely to get that. And I believe they're playing Houston.
They are. And I'm intrigued by that, too, how the target share goes around between him and Zay Flowers and Bateman. And the carry share between whoever's back there. Lamar, J.K., Gus. Or no, they cut Gus, right? Or no, they cut Gordon. They cut Gordon.
They cut
They
Gordon.
cut Gordon.
And your tight end pick.
Mr. Cole Kmet
Like it a lot.
should be great. Big, physical, athletic. Justin Fields said he's going to throw for 27,000 yards this year, so
Set a Bears record.
set a Bears record. So who better to get 20,000 of those yards than Cole Kmet.
For my tight end, I went David Njoku. And, I mean, he's got the big play potential. He's got red zone targets. It should be a good play. He's outside the top 5 barely. I think he was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good pick. I like him.
Again, tight ends, Shane, you heard it last year, a crapshoot.
When you spell his name, do you go N-I-N? I'm just
No.
curious.
Ninjoku?
That's how he said it.
Njoku?
We said Njuko first.
Yeah.
Then he said Ninjoku.
Same thing.
It's
It's not, though.
Joku.
Sorry.
Mine
Don't
is
ever
also
disrespect my Cleveland Browns tight end like that ever again.
also a deep sleeper here for me. I'm going Luke Musgrave in Green Bay. I think there's all the talks of rookie tight ends that don't perform. But again, he got 100% of the snap shares all preseason. A lot of the targets. I think he'll have, of the rookie class, maybe the highest ceiling. So we'll find out come week 1 how he actually performs.
Michael Mayer.
See, for tight end, I was kind of tempted to go Pat Fairmouth for the same reason that you went George Pickens. I mean, a lot of targets to go around.
Yeah, and definitely a big red zone guy.
Yeah.
And my flex is going to be Cortland Sutton, especially with Jerry Jeudy probably being out week 1. Should be their main target there. But he has a history of underperforming and also
Correct.
getting hurt pretty often. So we'll see how that pans out.
For my flex, I went Christian Kirk. They're playing Indy, and Calvin Ridley is going to be the guy getting doubled. I think that opens him up for a lot, and Indy's secondary isn't anything crazy.
And Kirk had a pretty solid year last year, too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my share of him in the SNS League. I think he's going to do really good this year. They have him projected for 12 points. I could see him going 16, 17.
Yeah, any Jag skill guy, especially week 1,
Yeah.
I like a lot.
this one,
Oh, here we go, boys.
a lot of people are going to hate. Michael Thomas.
I'm not one of the haters.
I think anybody can say they have turf toe. Okay. Anybody can do it. Whether or not it was actually an issue is debatable.
For a week or two, probably.
I think he now has the system around him that he wants to play in with a competent quarterback, competent receiving core, competent running back room, competent defense. No better way to make your comeback than now. Now's the time to do it.
We're
So,
calling on you, Mike.
We might see vintage slant boy.
A nice cool 8 for 96 in a score.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Neither would I.
That's why you picked him. So, of course, we'll tally up the scores come next week. Do we have a punishment decided for this season? We'll take suggestions, I assume.
Yeah, we'll take suggestions, and I will also get on doing the ice bath. Now that the logistics of that are me not jumping in a frozen lake.
No.
See-
in due time. In due time.
I heard one of your fantasy punishments, and I really like it, just hopping on a Greyhound bus and going wherever
It's too
it takes
much
you.
for us,
For this show, of course. You need a full.
especially for the sleeper of the
you need
week
a
thing.
12-man league.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hardcore, dude. Imagine you wake up in Tucson
Oh my.
with no way to get home. You got to go call a plane or rent a car or something.
Okay, if not the Greyhound, can we do the Waffle House? 24 hours, every waffle you eat's
Well,
an hour
I
off.
still got to do that for my other league. And our new punishment for that league for this year is last place has to do a full swimsuit-esque calendar.
Ooh.
12 months,
Ooh.
sexy shots that the other guys pick, the props, the costumes, all that. So at that point, I'm pretty happy with the Waffle House punishment.
Yeah, the Waffle House
Yeah.
kind of just seems
Who
like
gets the calendar?
Oh,
winner?
Everybody. We're
Oh,
doing
you have to-
copies. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We're passing those around.
nice.
At least for each member, if not more.
See, dude, Waffle House just seems like a cakewalk. You're just spending a few hours in Waffle House.
I wouldn't call
How
it
many
a
waffles do you
cakewalk.
think you can eat?
I'd say I can knock off.
Even if you eat 20 waffles,
That's
that's
still
still
4
hours in Waffle House,
Yeah.
dude.
I was hoping for 12.
It's going to be a good time, though. I mean, you always see something interesting in a Waffle House.
It'll be fun as hell, for
Yeah.
sure. But even then, 12 hours straight in a
See,
Waffle House?
Or do you think you're going to be by yourself the entire time, or are you going to have
No,
some
there'll be people
visitors?
visiting
Okay.
through the whole time. Well, not the whole time. When it comes 3, 4, 5 in the morning, those are long hours.
You usually see the most interesting things in a Waffle House at like 2, 3 in the morning.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Like a guy with 10 waffles down and 10 tally marks on his T-shirt, just hating himself by himself.
And then some dude with a peg leg comes in and says, "Nice."
You think at some point they ask you to leave?
No, because I'll tell him up front, like, hey, I'm sorry. Waitress, let me know when you leave so I can tip you right away and just keep the waffles coming.
They probably have been through this before too.
Yeah, exactly. It's Waffle House,
Yeah.
dude. I'm not going
pretty
to like
common fantasy
Longhorn or
punishment.
anything.
So can we do that as the punishment for this?
We'll
It's
take
fan
suggestions.
voted.
We'll do suggestions. Yeah, for sure.
What if they vote for the Greyhound, dude?
That's not going to be an option.
Yeah, we will not put that one up. But at the end of the day, you got to do what the fans want.
That's true.
Now, do you guys have a game of the week? Or do you want to go through each matchup? Cam, I know you're kind of itching to get out of here.
He is.
Want to keep it short?
Cam looks like he's dying.
I'm sweating pretty good. But I would like to do each game, yes.
Starting off with Thursday night. Anybody going Detroit?
No.
If Detroit's going to beat the Chiefs, it will be week 1. But I don't think they will.
Their best bet is control the clock, run the ball down the Chiefs' throat without Chris Jones there, maintain possessions, don't turn the ball over. But even without Kelsey, I still think the Chiefs put up enough points to win, especially at home. Going into Sunday, starting off with Carolina, Atlanta. In Atlanta, 3.5-point favorite. I'm going Falcons myself. Should be a relatively close game.
Yeah.
I think the Falcons cover.
I agree, and then I'll show up in Ash for Cash a little bit later. Shane, question, comment, concern?
None.
Houston, Baltimore, pretty cut and dry.
Should be Baltimore by a mile.
Big one here. Big one here.
Baltimore's what, minus 10?
10-point favorite as of now.
They should cover.
Yeah. Bengals, Brownies in Cleveland.
Browns all day.
Same here.
There is no better environment to be in than Cleveland opening day.
Again, especially mentioning Garrett's numbers against the Bengals. Joey B, maybe, I haven't heard much. I know he's still kind of banged up.
He should be. I think he's 100% for week 1.
Either way, I think, yeah, tough environment. Browns a slight dog. Going Brownies. Jags, Colts in Indy.
Jags all day. Jags own Indianapolis.
Yep, 5-point favorite. I think unless Richardson comes out and plays like an MVP, I don't see any chance, especially without JT, that the Colts, one, contain the Jags offense or put up enough points to win a shootout. Tampa in Minnesota.
It's kind of interesting, actually.
It's a little sneaky. Minnesota on paper should definitely win.
And I'm going to pick them to win. I think Tampa puts up a fight, but I like Minnesota to win it.
I think first half fight, and then Minnesota pulls away in the second.
It's week 1. I'll say Tampa Bay.
Upset on the road. I like it.
I will say I don't think the Vikings cover 6.
Yeah, it should be, barring Baker having 15 turnovers, should keep it close. Tennessee in New Orleans. New Orleans, 3-point favorite. I'm going Saints myself, but it should be within that 3-point spread.
I think early on the Titans are going to be hot because Derrick Henry's going to be playing at full capacity, and he'll be 100% healthy week 1. So I got to give the edge to Tennessee.
I'm going to go with Cam. Give me Tennessee.
I do want to see how the D-Hop, Treylon Burks combo
Curious.
plays out. And I always forget the tight end's name.
Chigozium.
I always mess his last name up.
Oh.
It's not Wouzier. It's the Bengals dude. They just call him Chiggy.
Yeah.
Everywhere I've seen. Makes it nice and simple. Second-year dude, but huge upside there. Tough game here. Coin flip. San Fran in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's a tough place to go opening day, but I'm giving the edge to Stone Cold Brock Purdy.
Yeah, still too much talent on the San Fran on both sides of the ball. Arizona, Washington should be the lock of the week.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Josh Dobbs comes in and wins a game on the road.
I like to envision
with
it's
no
like
talent around him.
It's like TCU Colorado, where it's like 58-54 for no reason.
That would be shocking. Yeah, entertaining but shocking. Then you go old time rivalry: Green Bay in Chicago. The tightest spread of the week. Chicago 1-point favorite.
Chicago should not be favorited. Green Bay owns Chicago. They always will.
Totally agree. Green Bay on the road
Bay.
takes it.
And I'm going to say they win by 10.
And
Plus.
here's a spread that I think should be a lot bigger. Denver, 3.5-point favorite hosting the Raiders. Again, maybe still some kinks week 1, but Denver should definitely pull this one out by at least a touchdown.
I agree. I don't know if the Raiders have the roster to support Jimmy G being a game manager.
Or the defense.
Because,
again, Denver cannot possibly be as bad offensively as they were last year.
It would make no sense.
Here's my game of the week pick. Miami at the Chargers. Chargers 3-point favorite.
Do you agree?
Yes, because usually home team gets a field goal. This should be an entertaining game, should be a shootout. I could see either team winning, but I'm going to go home field advantage to the Chargers.
Give me Miami just because I need Tyreek Hill to go off for fantasy.
He can still go off in a loss, but yeah.
I want him to go off in a win, though.
This should be a big number game across the board.
Should be. I like Miami.
Philly in New England.
Philly all day.
Yeah.
Again, only a 4-point spread there. Foxborough, tough, but Philly's too good. You
Yeah.
trust Mac Jones to stay within 4 of Philly?
Give me Philly by 14.
The Rams at Seattle.
Give me L.A.
Ooh, upset special on the road.
We're
I'm
gonna
going to
start
go
out hot.
Seahawks. I'm going to go Seahawks, but should be close. Sunday night. Shane has a comment here.
No, I don't. He just looked at me like he wanted me to say something.
I was just looking at you to see if you had input.
Your first Sunday night game, which I cannot wait for my girl, Carrie Underwood, for that Sunday night intro. Dallas at the Giants.
Tough game.
We always do struggle with Giants, too, especially early. But I
Two.
think Dallas has to pull it out.
I agree. I think Dallas wins.
Too much talent. I think the defense wins that game. I think the offense will probably underperform. But I can see like a 24-14 or 24-17 win for Dallas. Then Monday night, maybe the other game of the week, Buffalo at the Jets. All eyes on this game by themselves Monday night on ABC.
Give me New York.
Give me Buffalo.
I'm going to go Buffalo as well. If this game was like week 7, I might go Jets. But I think starting off week 1, I got to see it on the field first. Give me the Bills.
And you will when they're taking down your Buffalo Bills.
Hey, I'd love to come back next week and have another Cam's great calls. Where maybe I owe my cigar. We'll see. That will conclude your week 1 matchups. We could tally up picks, but for my Ash for Cash here, I got a 3-leg parlay, one for college, one for NFL. So if you're an NFL one here, I think it's pretty solid. $10 for 55. I got the Commanders -7. I got the Falcons just to win, and then the Jags -4.5.
I like it. Across the board.
Reasonable. I did win my first bet of the year last week in college. Utah -3.5. Of course, they hit. Took Indiana +29. Thankfully, the Buckeyes offense was very lackluster, and the Hoosiers covered that. Tulane -6.5. I was going to cash out, coming down to Florida State and LSU. Thankfully, I didn't because Florida State absolutely rolled. Definitely covered their +2.5. So a nice 133 to start off the year. I'll take that all day. Now, speaking of college, how about Coach Prime and those Colorado Buffaloes?
Colorado Buffalo. Led by Shedeur Sanders.
What do you put up, 515?
5'10", I think, on like 8 incompletions.
45-42 for the Buffaloes on the road. No, they were home, right?
Yes.
But against 17th ranked TCU, and man, I couldn't watch all of it because I was at my buddy's wedding, prepping for that, but entertaining as can be. So much firepower. My main takeaway there, besides Shedeur, of course, Travis Hunter. Two-way star, played on 87% of total snaps.
Insane.
Is that sustainable?
No.
Absolutely not.
Now, if you're Coach Prime, do you pull back snaps on offense or defense? Or equally on both sides of the ball?
Probably equally on both.
If they want him to continue to play both sides equally, but with their defense being as bad as it is, it wouldn't shock me if they just pull the defense totally. Because even him being a pretty solid defender, it did not matter because the rest of the defense was so bad.
He can only do so much by himself.
So maybe wait, get the defense playing better, and then have him go back to playing defense. But for him to be the only shining thing on the defense, I don't think it's worth the risk, in my opinion.
Yeah, he already has, I think 12 catches and an interception. Only 3 guys ever have 20 receptions and 5 picks in a season. And he's, of course, just one game, but well on his way to destroying that record if he plays the way he was on both sides of the ball week 1. Love to see Coach Prime succeed off the bat, dude.
I do too.
I know Colorado said they couldn't pay him his full contract when they signed him, but they said we'll get the money.
And I know Shedeur is on pace to make like $2.8 million more in NIL deals.
Just after that game.
And I think it'll be total him around $3.5 million, which is more than Dak Prescott's salary this year.
Yeah. It's so good to see, man. A head coach and his quarterback kid both totally exceeding expectations.
And his other son on defense.
In week 1. Yeah, and he gets unfortunately overlooked because Shedeur played so well. But man, Colorado definitely a Cinderella sweetheart amongst the entire landscape.
Everybody's happy to see it.
Loved it. I know our buddy Drew is going, I think in October, sitting front row around midfield for Colorado and I think Arizona.
Phenomenal.
Can you imagine a better environment to be in as a Buffalo fan especially?
Especially.
He suffered a long time.
Long enough.
Too long. You want to go homers here?
Absolutely.
Guess I'll start. Buckeyes did not look great, to say the least. Defense, solid. Against, yes, a bad triple option Hoosier offense. But defense held up, only gave up 3 points. But the offense, dude. This is the worst I've seen since those Jim Tressel-led offenses. McCord looked rough, uncoordinated across the board.
Just throwing behind Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, clanky.
Marvin Harrison only ending with 2 catches.
Him and Mbuke combined for 5 catches, 30 yards, which is completely unacceptable. Running game kind of got stuffed. Bad clock management. Bad play calling. No movement.
Very rough across the board.
Maybe I've been so spoiled the past even 10 years with all these speed and explosiveness on offense, especially at quarterback. But McCord has got a lot of work to do here. And now I'm much more concerned about the Notre Dame game coming up.
As you should be, because we're firing on all cylinders across both sides of the field.
Yeah.
Passing, rushing, defense, special teams, you name it, we got it.
And plenty of it.
And I could not be more excited. I don't care who we've played. We've looked great playing them.
Hey, you beat the competition in front of you, and you beat them handily. And you have. Whereas Indiana should not have been a 20-point game.
Agreed.
It was 10-7 at half. Even on the road, week 1, that's not acceptable. So we got Youngstown State this week. Let's get things back under control. Get your offense rolling. Get back in tune. You got Western Kentucky after that. Same thing. Just prep up for Notre Dame. Because we can't embarrass ourselves.
Come on down to the South Bend.
On the road.
I will say, get your first loss out of the way early if you're going to take a loss.
That is the way to do it.
To a ranked Notre Dame team.
On the road. Yeah.
On the road. Still have playoff potential with that loss.
By that time, I think you guys are just outside the top 10. You'll be in the top 10 by then, for sure. We fell to 5. Probably should have been lower, honestly, after that performance. You guys might even be higher than us come that matchup.
Depending on how bad Ohio State plays, yeah. And if Notre Dame keeps playing the way they are.
Maybe the Buckeyes get a old Youngstown tune-up this Saturday.
Hey-o.
I know Steve will be there for that game.
Nice.
Steve from Cigaro, of course, a Youngstown dude. And in Columbus frequently.
Yeah.
And I think also we auctioned off tickets for that at our last OCM event.
Oh, cool.
I don't know who won those, but I know Bill Alexander in our group donated them. So 2 OCM members will be there in attendance. Other news, how about Clemson last night, dude?
Ooh, how about them? Duke just had their way.
Let me pull up their drive summaries because it was ugly.
And that was number 7 Clemson.
Even on the road, you should be able to handle Duke.
And it's Duke, yeah.
And Duke is getting better, don't get me wrong, but Clemson, as a top 10 ranked team, should definitely handle that. So their drives, they went... Let me see here. They had 3 different fumbles inside the 10-yard line, which there's at least 9 points off the board there, if not more. 2 turnovers, or 2 interceptions. Turnover on downs. Only 1 scoring drive. And the defense didn't look that great either. Got blown out 22-0 in the second half.
By Duke.
Clemson's reign, I think, is definitely over. Which I'm happy to see myself.
Of course you are.
Hey, give me something here, okay? Buckeyes didn't be a whole lot to cheer for week 1.
We got Trevor Lawrence winning the AFC.
I do. I have nothing against T-Law the professional. But T-Law the Clemson Tiger, I hold some grudges. Then, of course, you had the big game Sunday, Florida State, LSU, top 10 matchup. Started off close, great first half, and then second half, dude, Florida State just dominated.
Pulled away big time.
In a neutral site game, technically, although it was in Florida, so they had a slight home team advantage. LSU always draws well. Then the Pac-12, undefeated as a conference, a perfect 13-0. Their first time doing that since 1932, but yet they're going out of business next year, and everybody's leaving. So that's tough to see.
It is. But at least they broke the record in their last year.
Now, some matchups this week. Nothing really huge, but your Irish go to NC State. 7-point favorite there. Tough game on the road, but nothing you guys shouldn't be able to handle. You have a big-time rivalry, Iowa at Iowa State. Ranked matchup, Ole Miss at Tulane. Wisconsin going out west coast of Washington State. And then, of course, the big one, Texas at Alabama. Primetime Saturday night. Maybe Quinn Ewers pulls a miracle off. I still like Bama at home.
Quinn Ewers didn't look as good as I expected him to.
Yeah, a little rusty maybe.
On the completion percentage, at least.
Week 1 jitters, maybe.
So should expect great improvements there. And you missed the Colorado-Nebraska game. Colorado's must-see TV.
Well, they're here on my Ash for Cash.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I got Colorado only -2.5, which I think is a steal. Their first home game of the year, hosting Nebraska, who's not good. Maybe people get too high on them, but at 2.5, I think is a steal. Even with that questionable defense, a lock. I got your Irish, -7 on the road. And then I'm going double down Tulane, +7.5, hosting Ole Miss. 1 for 1 on the year. Want to keep that momentum going. We'll see what happens.
Keep it up. I agree.
Want to burn through UFC here? Not much to talk about, unfortunately.
Not much. Preview of the next card, but probably just the title fight.
Yeah. First things first, though. Fight night, gone, showed what we wanted to see.
Exactly what we asked for.
Destroyed Sergey Spivak.
Probably listened.
I think the striking differential was like 118 to 12.
Yeah.
Second round KO for Gone. He throws some wild strikes, too, when he's got you backed up against the fence. Like almost standing hammer fists.
Love to see it.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, unorthodox, and clearly got the job done.
Got to be creative if you're going to be a champ, at least for any tenured amount of time.
And good to see, because Sergey shot one takedown, Gone stuffed it, which was his biggest thing he needed to work on. And then Sergey just kind of gave up and just kept eating shots.
Yeah.
And you can only eat so many from a guy like Cyril Gone. Then the co-main there, Montefiore took down Thug Rose pretty handily. Thug Rose, I guess, had a dislocated finger during the fight.
It was pretty nasty.
That thing looked broken.
Yeah, it looked ugly. But then
Yeah.
her coach, Pat Barry, told her to avoid leg kicks and keep throwing jabs like
Yeah,
an idiot.
I don't know.
Turns out not having Trevor Whitman in your corner is actually a big deal. And then, Saturday,
Izzy makes quick work of Sean.
yeah, should. I like Sean. I think he's a good matchup on the feet, but nothing Izzy hasn't seen before
Right.
and beaten handily before.
Less power than Pereira by a mile.
Less
So,
technique than Pereira as
yeah.
well. And really no threat on the ground.
But solid chin. So,
He can eat some strikes. Yeah, I don't know if Izzy finishes, but I think he'll point him up pretty heavily.
yeah.
Probably a significant strike advantage. As long as he doesn't just sit back and play defense like he has a couple times before.
Could do the old bait like he did to Pereira.
And here comes a head kick out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me at all.
Let him charge at him, back him up against the cage, hit him with a nasty hook, counter hook, put him out, shoot him with a bow.
Either way, Izzy definitely wins. And the co-main, our boy, Tai Tuivasa.
Love to see him back in action
Always entertaining.
on a pay-per-view.
Definitely a show kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
Down on those shoeies. In
100%.
Australia, too. Home crowd. Should be a good time. He's fighting Volkov, who is definitely a larger man, but not as much power as he probably should have at his frame.
Yeah.
Slow, not very coordinated. I think Tui takes it, but it should be an entertaining fight, close fight. With that, I gave you Ash for Cash already. Time for a stick pick, and time to get out of here, boys.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Who's due this week?
We'll say Shane.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, pine cone.
We
Sorry.
dropped the ball. I haven't called him pine cone once tonight.
Oh, man. Sorry about that, El Grande Rojo.
Thank you, sir.
Or El Rojo Grande.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Big country. And Shane pulls out the one and only.
Small batch 225.
Believe that is a Espinosa, which I know for a fact Tip Top has them. I think it's relatively, like you said, small batch, so limited production. But from my memory, like a $13 stick. I believe Maduro wrapper. Great stick for the price. Espinosa is always reliable. So be on the lookout for that. Cam, let's wrap up shop.
You know what we always say? S&S.
To the moon.